Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You'll know my co-host Jordan. Jordan, you know, they once said on The Office, near the end of the show, Ed Helm specifically, he said, you know, you wish you knew when you were in the good old days. And I'm kind of feeling like we're there right now. Thoughts?
I was kind of feeling the opposite before this, but I was going to tell you, podcast free agency and NBA free agency are kind of at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I've been fielding many, many calls, but I'm leaning towards returning to Home and Podcast.
You know, based on our interactions this morning, I'd say feel free to go.
You're not going to offer me anything interesting, huh?
You might, you know, I've been we listen to a lot of the same podcasts, and we'll keep this extremely short because I think the Venn diagram of NBA free agency enthusiasts and Home and Podcast is like nil.
It's two people, and it's me and you. And
every conversation on the Bill Simmons podcast is like of late has been like this. Are they overpaying? Is 4 years max overpaying for Kemba Walker? And then another guy will be like, well, I guess overpaying is what he'll get paid. It's whatever the market dictates. It's just like that's every conversation. So it's like, is it a good deal? Well, I don't know. A good deal is what they're willing to pay for him. I don't know. Seems like we're just sort of talking in circles with all that stuff. But. Yeah,
unless there's like breaking news about people moving or trades or whatever, it's kind of I don't know. It's a lot of the same thing
for sure.
So, what are you gonna do? But that's why we talk more about home improvement because it's timeless and it never gets old, and we're never in circles.
No, we get basically every episode presents something new and kind of unique, and we don't really see recycled plot lines or anything like that. So.
That's a very appropriate comment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you know, speaking about the past, we never talked about the past, but I'm going to say we did anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think last episode during the social media conversation, you mentioned a promo video of past Home Improvement episodes that was shared by one of our biggest fans. Do you know which fan?
I think her name is Gabby. The handle is Gabby related. Well, once we do social media stuff at the end, I'll get the exact one because I'm not on Twitter right now.
Okay.
But it is a listener named Gabby, and I think she cut the video herself. It is
whoa.
Yeah, imagine that. It is a 14-minute compilation of various home improvement promos from what I gathered to be the start of the show to the very, very end. Is that what you thought?
Yeah, it didn't seem like there was a lot in the middle necessarily, but definitely a lot of the pre-show stuff, just getting the pilot going, all that kind of stuff, and then towards the end of the run. So, yeah, there's, like you said, 14 minutes. There's quite a few. I didn't count how many, but there's a lot in there.
They get shorter at the end, too, and it's sort of just like stationary pictures of Tim Allen. They get gets pretty weepy near the finale.
The tone definitely changes.
I know. I'm looking forward to obviously we're looking forward to the end of the show because then we don't have to talk to each other anymore. But beyond that, I'm also looking forward to seeing it seems like they're really, really leaning into the emotional stuff at the end.
Heck yeah. Yeah, definitely. Although we can talk about some of the promos now. It goes from like emotional home improvement to like keep an eye on the Hughleys right after.
I know. Oh man, that was one of my notes. It's like okay, I guess we can just get into it. I have a lot of like various kind of notes, but that Hughleys thing was like it was very serious. It was like
jarring.
Stay tuned for only 4 episodes left of Home Improvement, but also the Hughleys are doing crazy ass shit on ABC. It was like okay, who cut this? You know.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty perfect. And I liked, just going back to the very, very beginning of these, it was kind of like a time capsule of all of TV. Yeah. So you've got, like, it starts out with, like, Columbo and what's going on there, which I thought you'd be happy about. I know you love Columbo.
Just one more thing.
One question.
Jay Leno on Columbo. Yeah, it was funny. There was, like, a promo where it seemed like, it didn't seem like, it was like, tune in to Home Improvement and The Wonder Years. Kevin's going to join the wrestling team. And it's like, man, I don't think of Home Improvement and The Wonder Years being on TV at the same time, which I guess is weird to me.
There was a lot of like sandwiching things in between 2 Home Improvement episodes too.
Arguably, the best part was hearing about the other shows. Like there was one show called like Thea.
Thea, I've never heard of that one before.
I know. I looked it up. It only lasted 19 episodes. It was the first show to have an African American female lead. Wow. I hope I'm not mistaken on that. Something to that degree. I think that I'm going to commit to that. But it didn't last very long. But yeah, they're like, Home Improvement and Thea, a hilarious episode of Thea.
And then the Thea clips were very uninteresting.
Yeah, so. I wasn't surprised it got canceled.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is 100% true, but okay. I feel... Yeah, you like where this is going, don't you? Mm-hmm. I feel like the music that they were using in the first few promos was some music that was definitely in Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
You know what? I thought the exact same thing. Isn't that weird?
That has to be true then.
Yeah, we don't just both randomly think that. Yeah, one in particular, I was like, man, this is in a movie we've covered. I couldn't remember what it was, but yeah.
I think it specifically was like the moment where that one guy who doesn't really speak was trying to act things out to those mafioso type people.
That was hilarious.
So it was like do 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 or whatever.
My stomach still hurts from laughing so hard at that scene.
I think that movie was the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Overall, you know what I would say about some of the especially the early promos? I think they're like
pretty good, right?
Pretty clever, like more clever than some of the episodes that they have in the first season. So
yeah, like there's I wrote down a couple of good ones, I guess. But like the one where he's grunting with subtitles.
Yes, that was my favorite one.
That's pretty clever. And then what is it? PR. What does this mean? I don't know what this means, I guess. But there's one with Patricia Richardson where she is like outside talking about how it's actually a show for women, and then Tim comes in with the leaf blower. I think that's kind of funny. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like some of the, and I think it's easier to write short, clever stuff than the whole episode. So
sure, the kids are very cute in some of them too.
Kids are cute. There's a mention of Dracula. Did you get that?
I did see that. Yeah, that's how you know a promo's going on a little too long. The lights go out, and they got like a flashlight. You look like Dracula. Yeah, I think in terms of like the bad, just like we said earlier, it gets really sappy. Some of the promos for the end of the show, like you got like the talking heads. Like for whatever reason, I guess Mark's getting a lot of like sound bites. Like there's one where Mark's like, "It feels like we just recorded the pilot yesterday." It's like, okay, thanks, Mark. I bet you remember that when you were 2. I'll tell you 2 more that I really didn't like. There seemed to be a reoccurring trend of parody songs.
I was going to ask you, did you like What I Like About Tim or Secret Tool Man?
Secret Tool Man was horrible.
Secret Tool Man?
It was horrible. You're not going to want to do this, but I think we should, instead of playing a Wilson clip in this episode, I think we should insert a Secret Tool Man clip right here.
All right, we can do that.
Okay, so I'm going to pause for that.
I love my job.
He's a tool man. He's a tool man.
Look out!
Powers what is after, and he'll get it any way he can.
Home Improvement, ABC Tuesdays, 8/7 Central.
Yeah, so Secret Tool Man, Jordan, really, really bad. And also we had to hear it 2 or 3 times.
I don't know. I think I liked it better than What I Like About Tim, though.
Oh, I mean, it's like, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's
they're
pretty
both
rotten.
They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. That was really about all the ones that were very memorable to me. Like you said, with a 14-minute one, we had initially thought like we could do like a top 2, bottom 2 type of thing.
There's too many.
But it was too many, and some of them were very, very short, and some of them, you didn't have much to say about. But, the grunting with the subtitles is definitely a big standout for me. And some of the first ones where they're talking about what the show is about and trying to introduce it, and the kids are running around and
the TV,
all that kind of
when
stuff.
Tim is fixing the TV, that one's kind of stupid.
Kind of stupid, but it gives you an idea what the show is about.
That's true. I guess it's accurate, or accurate, as you would say. There's one near the end where they are like, the last family sitcom ever, and it's like, is that true? I don't know. I feel like there's been they bill Home Improvement as one of the final family sitcoms ever to air, and it's like, well, that's a presumptuous thing to claim, but I guess they probably felt that way in the moment.
Well, maybe they were meaning, like, the last great family sitcom of, like, the last few years, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they get off saying that kind of a line.
I guess in promos you don't have time to sort of equivocate, like a bunch of asterisks and so on.
Yeah, you just kind of go for...
Yeah, on ABC, in the 2000s, whatever.
Nobody's fact-checking at that point.
No,
there is quite a difference in branding between this 8-year run, for sure, of just ABC and, like, graphic design and how logos are created, and they go to like a very like yellow and then kind of black and white or orange and black and white towards the end, like a very modern.
They're classing things up. Yeah. I remembered that kind of palette.
I do too.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you, Gabby, for sharing this, and we'll give proper credit in our social media section. But it was fun. It was fun to watch. That's certainly work that we were never going to do, so I'm glad someone did it for us. Right?
But we love to analyze it, so if any of our other fans want to put together some compilations, we'll take a look at them and talk about them.
You know it. Jordan, before we transition in the episode, what time are you getting to Milwaukee for the Jet Juergensmeyer concert on July 2nd?
Oh, yeah. I was going to actually fly in a couple days early and, like, kind of, I don't know, you could call it stalk, but I just want to meet him, so,
You could call it that because that is what it is.
Some people might say that. I don't consider it that.
He's playing, he's got the sort of the illustrious 2 p.m. spot on July 2nd. So that's sort of, that's a good time to play. That's when the crowd is sort of at its peak.
That's when the crowd is very confused.
Yeah, that's when you can't decide if it's lunchtime or dinner time. And
you're just going to go get food anyway.
You're just going to watch Jet play. But, all right, well, I look forward to that, man. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I couldn't make it to the Karn Man thing, but I'm going to show up to a Jet Juergensmeyer concert.
That you have to pay for.
It's all about priorities.
Amen.
Did you want to talk about Miami at all?
Oh, dang.
Did you have any questions about Miami?
Let's save it for the end of the show. Questions.
All right.
Because I can riff on Miami because I've been there.
All right.
Will Smith and I have both spent time there.
Welcome to Miami. All right, this episode is called, episode 137 is Workin Man Blues, written by Bruce Ferber and Lloyd Garver.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard from them in a while. The last one they did was At Sea, where they were on the USS something. Constellation?
USS Bullshit, if I remember that episode correctly.
It was pretty bad. Yeah. This one aired December 10th, 1996. Title reference you told me was a song by Merle Haggard, Workin Man Blues.
I think it's Merle.
Merle, what'd I say?
Meryl?
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 That's a Pokemon.
Meryl, get in here.
Meryl. Alternative title time.
Meryl, what you doing?
All right. I've got 3, and they're all bad. How many do you have?
4.
7?
400. All bad.
All right. You get to lead off again, then.
The Boss, baby. Topical, our children listening.
Super topical.
Yeah.
Definitely reused this one before, but I have no shame at this point. So,
sure. Yeah.
Mo money, mo problems.
Boy, I think we've heard that a handful of
7 times?
All right. This one might have been used before, too. All work and no play.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know.
It's good, though.
It's so good that you had to do it.
I had to do it. How about work-life imbalance?
Good. Your son got robbed.
Robbed.
Yeah.
Can't wait to talk about Rob with you.
Yeah. Rob is, you don't get a lot of surprises out of characters, but this guy pulled a real 180 on us. Yeah.
Yeah,
he did not have trouble with the curve.
No way. All right. This is what's the way to say this? I don't know. Interesting.
Better just say it.
This is reminds me of a video game that I used to play a lot, so this is kind of an homage to that. Wilson W. Wilson's Pro Skater.
Okay. Yeah. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, buddy.
Nice. Okay. Well, I can't criticize. My last one is PSA T for trouble.
Oh, that's terrible.
I do it only for you, those ones.
It's so good, it's so bad.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. If I had to pick out of those 7, I probably wouldn't.
PSAT for trouble. Come on. Get real.
All right. Well, maybe you'll put up a poll. 2 polls. That's how big it is.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Open on tool time. It's home safety salute, and we're kind of post-accident. They don't want to waste time this time on, what happens and what goes wrong. So,
by the way, fine with me.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. We've seen a lot of these. So we move on to the mailbag, and they're talking about dowels and some problems there. There's some really bad mac and cheese jokes and tree jokes, and it's not great. But then there's a second mail from a listener that talks about a parent buying a teen a car, and Tim sees right through Brad's attempt to get a car. Which, I don't know. I guess I'm impressed by Tim.
It was weirdly cut together. I don't know. Did you notice how? I don't know. The transition was sort of awkward. It was like they're at tool time. He's reading the letter, and then we sort of just abruptly cut to Brad, who's like celebrating. I don't know if it either struck you or it didn't, but to me it just seemed kind of awkward. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of knew what they were going for. I didn't expect them to cut to Brad, I guess.
Yeah, he's like, celebrating, and then he's watching the television. I don't know. I'm not sure what they could have done differently. I felt like maybe it was just too fast, or maybe we needed a couple additional cuts back and forth. But this isn't Quentin Scarantino. You're not going to always get those directorial flourishes, Jordan.
No way. So that's the opening scene. There's not much to it, really.
Yeah, it's fine. They don't need to. Not every. It does set up the rest of the episode, which is effective, I suppose. So yeah. All right.
Yeah, I thought, no, this comes later, so I'll just kind of hold it.
You did skip the perplexed in Petoskey and flummoxed in Fenwick.
Yeah. Are you sad about that? You just like the Michigan call-outs.
Yeah, I just like the call-outs. Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Fenwick?
Where is it? Is it suburban? Is that where Brad is? Brad is flummoxed in Fenwick, right?
Yeah, I got the idea from the joke that he made, though, that it was like somewhere in the UP, because they said it was very, very cold or something.
If only there were a way to find out where
I'm clicking right now.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Don't even worry about it.
It seems like it's in the middle of nowhere. Let's see.
You can get a 3-star hotel there for $128. I'm thinking road trip.
Outside of Grand Rapids. So that the snow thing checks out. They got that lake effect snow over there.
Yeah, Fenwick. Brad knows the word flummoxed. Interesting. Okay.
Randy wrote that part.
Randy did a punch up. All right,
and
next scene.
Yeah, okay. So we move on to the next scene. Brad is prepping for an interview with Randy. It seems like he's trying to get a job, and I was wondering what happened to the mail route.
The mail route thing. Get a job, job, get a job. I don't know. Out in like a lion, out like a lamb, I guess that job was.
Guess it didn't last long. Yeah. Tim comes in. He's looking at a job for like selling wieners at the mall. They get a lot of mileage out of this joke.
Well, why wouldn't you? Come on. It's the 90s and wiener jokes are at an all-time high.
All-time high? Yeah. I thought the way that your act is going, they're still at an all-time high.
Wait a minute, what?
I know in improv, you're always talking about your wiener jokes, so...
The plays I do improv, you can't even swear, so there's no wiener jokes, Jordan. I do a clean set, okay?
All right. So the boys are kind of downplaying the job a little bit, and Tim tries to instill a sense of responsibility. He says, hey, you're getting paid, so, go for it.
It's a good fatherly lesson.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's exactly the way we take this podcast.
One of us. All right, next scene. Jordan, I'm going to take over for you. Take a break, okay? Just relax.
I want to talk.
I know. All right, next scene. We are at a sporting goods store in a mall. Remember malls? Want to feel old? All right, so Brad walks into the store, and he asks for help from this girl who's a real nihilist, Jordan. She's a real nihilist. I'm going to do a bio on her. I recognized her.
Holly is her name.
Her name is Holly. Holly Flax. No. She has a name, and her name is Carolyn Keenan. And
she has a name.
She's born down in the bayou, Jordan.
Wow.
18 credits to her name in such films as I Am Sam, Nothing to Lose, The Day After Tomorrow, and one of my favorite, this is probably my favorite movie when I was 10, still one of my favorite sports movies, The Replacements with Keanu Reeves. Seen it?
I don't know if I ever saw that.
Oh, man. I don't know if you would like it now, but it's a good football movie. She plays a stripper turned cheerleader, so that kind of gives you the idea of what it's like, or maybe why I liked it when I was young. But it's funny. I'd recommend checking it out.
All right.
She's last appeared in an episode of Seventh Heaven as Delia's mother. So
wow,
that was a good one for her.
Can we go on a side tangent about Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves is back, baby. Yeah.
Man, he's so in right now. It's crazy. He's got like 100% approval rating right now.
I know, it's so weird because, I don't know, I'm going to say from like, there was at least a 10-year window where he was sort of a joke, at least I perceived him as that, and he's making like direct-to-DVD movies, and like his career just sort of stalled, and then next thing you know, John Wick comes out, and everybody loves him, which is, it's good,
I mean, everybody was psyched about him in Toy Story 4. I think he's being cast in the new Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I saw him in a Netflix film that my wife was watching, Always Be My Maybe, I think it was, or something like that.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, it was. So, he's kind of everywhere right now, and I was shocked by all this. I mean, I haven't seen a movie with him in it in a long time, so I can't say too much, but...
We should get him on the pod.
Think he'd be doing it? I mean, if we can't get Bud Harper, we can definitely get Keanu Reeves.
Hey man, don't reveal too much. I'm not saying anything about that. All right. So that's Caroline Keenan. She's a nihilist. She's kind of funny. I don't know. We haven't seen a character like
different
this
character. She's the future Mark.
Yeah. Would you say that they think she's goth? Is that what they're trying to do, or just like not that? That's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't quite have all the garb that we see Mark wear later on, so it's harder to tell, but I think that's what they're going for.
They're trying for a certain type, yeah. All right, so Brad, let me see here. Brad meets the owner of the store, Rob, who seems like kind of a sleaze at first to me.
A little bit, yeah.
Because this, like, quote-unquote babe walks by, and he's like, I get to talk to hot girls about sporting goods. I love my life.
My job.
Yeah.
Rob.
It's like, okay.
He's very much trying to impress this teenager, I think.
My question right now, at this point in the show, and we find out later, is Rob like 20 or 40? Because I couldn't tell at this point. We find out later on, but... At
first, I thought he was like 19 or something like that. Just out of high school, but we get the idea that he's like 35 to 40 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so... Brad is stalling before his interview. He talks to Rob. Wilson comes in the store because he's looking for a hobby. And man, talk about shoehorning Wilson into an episode. This stunk.
Oh man. What does he choose between for his new hobby?
I don't remember. It was like Aztec something or rollerblades.
Channeling Aztec spirits or rollerblading.
I mean, we've all been in that sort of precarious position before.
I think my brother has.
Your brother chose both.
He loves rollerblades, so he probably went with the same one Wilson did.
No, he chose both, and that was the problem, I think. Brad reminds Wilson that there is negative aspects of the Aztecs. But Wilson does like a really cartoony gulp. Did you notice that?
Well, I didn't really notice that, but I was scared by what he might get into with the channeling the Aztecs. They used to rip out human hearts while people were alive, so
scary. The owner witnesses Brad, and Brad's like, "Hey, get him cheaper at the other store." Wilson leaves. The owner,
but also Brad knows a lot about rollerblading.
Well, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's Brad.
But Rob is not just impressed by, him sending him to a different store. He's impressed by his knowledge and salesmanship.
Brad is talking like model numbers and very specific things like that. Yeah, you're right. And I mentioned earlier, the owner, 20 or 40, we don't know. So the owner's like, you know what I like to do when people are turning business away? I like to offer them a job.
Want a job.
My favorite line in the episode, the owner is like, okay, let's go over to Java whatever and talk salary. Like, salary? Do you mean minimum wage you're going to be paying me? Like,
yeah,
what are you talking about?
I was going to say about $6 an hour or whatever it is.
How does $4.25 sound? Short conversation.
I don't know. We get the idea that Rob I don't know. Maybe he's not the best. I mean, I guess he has a store, but the way that he runs his business seems a bit suspect.
Well, it's Rob Pelinka.
Ah, well, so that checks out.
Starting to make sense. I'm going to give you a little bio on Rob, Jordan. Rob is played by Mitch Rouse, and he, interesting career. 45 acting credits to his name. He was in Reno 911, TV show called Employee of the Month, Strangers with Candy. But he wrote a film that I bet you kind of like, and I liked at the time, and it's called Without a Paddle.
Oh, really?
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Huh.
And he wrote... Did he write the film? He wrote the movie... No, that's a TV show. He just wrote Without a Paddle, but that's impressive enough. That's interesting to me. I did like that movie when I saw it.
I probably have only seen that movie once, too. You know, I think I saw it in theaters, and then I never saw it again.
Well, that's Mitch Rouse for you, and he's not doing much these days, but he'll always have Without a Paddle, and those residual checks just keep on coming. So.
And this, I mean...
Well, yeah, he's great. Obviously, he's great in this, yeah.
He's going to get a star on the Walk of Fame for this role.
You won the Pulitzer. I mean, come on.
I'm guessing he's only in this one episode.
I already clicked away, but I can go back.
Nah, you don't have to.
No, Jordan, wait.
Let's drag this out. It seems like you could make this guy a recurring character. If you're going to make Jason a recurring character, you probably could make Rob a recurring character.
By the way, you mentioned earlier that I did try to get Bud Harper on the show, and he politely declined. I'm also working on getting Jared Paul, who plays Jason, on the show, so don't worry about it.
Well, keep it up, man. I can't wait to hear what happens.
He's only in this episode, is Rob, unfortunately.
All right.
Wait, Rob's in Rudy? Rudy.
Maybe we should just spend a whole episode talking about his IMDb.
Robcast. All right, next scene.
Back at home, Brad has gotten the job. He's got a new shirt, and there's some jokes in the last scene about like being an adult and starting to drink coffee or whatever.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about that, but I'm sure you do. He's making some coffee, and he's using a lot of sugar. Way more sugar than the one coffee that I ever poured, I'll tell you that. So, and there's a joke later on where Tim comes down, and he tries a bit of that coffee and is like, hey, did you put any coffee in with that sugar? Ha ha ha! Randy and Mark are not impressed. They're mostly jealous.
Yeah, they're
Brad.
jealous, yeah.
Brad has also kind of made this overnight transformation where he's trying to be like an adult, and he grabs the business section, and the coffee works with that, and he's like saying, I'm no kid anymore. And then he leaves and comes back in for lunch money. So I guess he's still a little bit of a kid.
Yeah, it's kind of, the lunch money thing's kind of funny. Did you notice Tim's face when he drinks the coffee? It's very similar to his face in the Santa Claus when he drinks the hot cocoa.
He reused faces, that's what you're saying.
I'm saying Tim Allen is reusing faces.
I've always suspected it, but now we have confirmation.
Oh, man, I've been doing this too long. I'm noticing faces that are repeated. All right. There's also talk at the end of the scene about potentially doing some work on the hot rod tonight.
Yes, which we're going to get more of that later, so that's important.
Jordan, I'll take the next scene, I guess. We're back at the store. The Nihilist continues her, I don't
campaign?
know.
Her evil campaign?
I guess. I don't know what she's doing. Whatever.
She's trying to drive business away from the store.
I know, and you're wondering at this point, why does she work for the store?
Good question.
We'll find out later. Brad is so good at sales, he already broke the record for... By the way, there's a record for sales on your first day. Rob keeps some pretty specific books.
Yeah, Rob, I mean, it seems like he's not spending a lot of time at the store, but I guess he does have a lot going on with
Holly
the business.
Is sort of an April Ludgate surrogate.
Yeah, just not as cool.
Not as cool, but... I mean, that's
ahead of her time.
It's a similar vibe. Yeah, I think that Parks and Rec kind of curbed Holly for April. Okay, here we go. Home. Brad's successful. I don't know.
This is where we get. This is before we do that. Yeah. We do learn in this scene that Rob's sister is Holly.
Oh yeah! Wow, makes sense. All right, home. Yeah. Brad is he's flourishing. He's doing so well that Rob wants to give him more hours. Hey, Brad, PSAT's coming. You better make sure you get that day off. Tim wants Brad to work on the hot rod, but Brad doesn't have time. It's a real, you know the Cat Stevens song, Father and Son?
Cats in the Cradle?
No, it's called Father and Son, not Cats in the Cradle. That's not Cat Stevens. Confusing, isn't it?
It is confusing. Keep going.
It's a real reverse Father and Son. In Father and Son, the father he doesn't. Well, forget it. I don't care. Let's just go on. Let's just move on. Whatever.
You've fallen apart since I mentioned Bud Harper. You must be flummoxed.
I don't know. I think what happened is I woke up and I just immediately started doing this, and I haven't had time to do all the things I need to do in the morning.
Your brain is not functioning. You did say that you slept for 3 hours one night and then 12 the next, so you're kind of way off right now.
My body is screwy right now.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'll carry us. That always works well.
Please.
I think there's, at the end of the scene, Brad bails on helping Tim with the car. It's pretty sad. And then Tim tries to get Jill to do it, and she says, we have to small talk first, and then he's like, nah, I'm out. So
it's like a sex joke, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. He just doesn't want to spend time with his wife. That's what I thought he was going with.
Well, hey, I said it last week. I'll say it again. That's the great thing about Home Improvement. You can take it a lot of different ways.
All right. Back at work, Brad is
Yeah, why don't you take charge, Jordan?
You've infected me. I don't know. All right, Brad has closed another sale. I mean, at this point,
always be closing.
At this point, you might as well just give him part share in the ownership here. I mean, he's doing all the work.
I thought at this point in the episode, Brad was going to be like, I'm so good at this, I'm going to open up my own store. Takes his college fund.
That would have been a logical next step for where they're going with this episode, but he doesn't do quite that. But we do get Jason, who you mentioned earlier, and we learn that he's into Holly. I don't know why. He's trying real hard.
He likes women with pulses. That's Jason's thing.
That is the thing. So Rob wants to take Brad to lunch. Rob does not spend a lot of time in his own store, it seems like. But they're going to go to lunch. Unfortunately, Tim and Brad had plans, and Tim is there, kind of waiting to pick Brad up, and he has to cancel, and he's like, that's fine. We learned also on the way out that Rob is going to let Brad drive in his Porsche. Brad only has a permit. Rob is, loosey-goosey here, just letting him go.
Rob is a loser and wants to seem cool in the eyes of a 16-year-old. That's the kind of guy Rob is, and there are definitely people like this, but that is his chief goal here, I thought.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's working on Brad. I was thinking, and I think this is me combining different episodes that I partially remember. I thought at this point Brad was going to get into an accident in the Porsche.
That would have been a real curveball.
Yeah.
That'd been all right. That'd been all right.
Does not happen.
No.
Do you want me to keep going?
I think you're doing well. Yeah.
All right. At home, Tim comes in, and there's, we get the Stan's Hamtramck joke here where Jill can kind of tell where he's been based on how he's belching. And we're going to get a lot of Stan's Hamtramck sandwich Polish place or whatever that was.
It's real. We looked it up once, I remember.
Yeah. And this is, they mention it a lot. So they must be giving him business or something.
Tim must have like steak in it or something.
Yeah, because if he didn't, this would have been a Big Mike's joke, I think.
Yeah.
What happened to the Stinkies?
Yeah, why is it a Big Mike's joke?
Yeah, Stinkies.
Yeah, what's it? Hey, you guys hear the thing about Big Mike Tavern? Yeah, they got stinky sandwiches.
All right. Tim is instantly suspect of Rob here. He's, turning his kid around. He's taking his kid from him, and he's very worried about Brad because he's not really being a kid anymore. He's not coming home, hanging out with girls or spending time in his schoolwork or spending time with Tim in the hot rod, which is really Tim's biggest gripe here. So Jill says it's just a phase. He's very excited. I think Jill gives good wisdom here. It's just a phase. He's very excited. He just started this job, and in like a month he'll be back to normal. So that's her advice. And Tim tries to compare that to marriage. Kind of a bad time joke here. I don't know.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, it's not a good one.
Is this before or after Angela calls and Brad's like, nah?
This is before. This is the next scene, I think. Okay. And this is kind of a lot of quick scenes here. So later at home, Brad is reading a sports magazine aptly titled Sports Catalog. I don't know if you saw that.
I'm a subscriber. I love that stuff, yeah.
I think the name of the store is Sports Universe, too. So.
Really? Well, what could be bigger and better than the sports universe?
Nothing. So that's what he's reading today, and I guess it's maybe research for business. That's what I would assume now. That's what he does.
Business ethics.
All right. Phone rings. Angela calls. Brad is too busy reading his magazine to answer, so Tim answers, learns it's Angela, and he bails on his girlfriend because it's inventory night. He can't make it. Hang up on the phone call, and Brad...
Tim is like, you'd rather go to work than hang out with your beautiful girlfriend? It's like, I don't know. Take it easy, Tim. Cool it.
Well,
why don't you hang out with her?
And then Brad not one-ups, but then he goes into asking his dad how much his dad makes. And I think Tim says, I'm going to murder you. Something to that effect after that.
Hey, Jordan, ballpark in 2019 salary, how much do you think Tim's pulling down? I'll give you an over-under.
Okay.
Over-under 70K.
I was going to say 75, so okay. Over, I guess.
Okay, all right. I think about 70.
Yeah.
But, yeah, all right, cool.
Something like that. What do you think Brad makes?
$425.
I don't know. The way that Rob handles his money, he might be getting paid like $10 an hour.
He gets paid in Porsche rides. All right, I'll step up here. So,
all right. About time.
Oh, man, I've been enjoying my break.
My back is so tired from carrying the team.
Yeah, I bet. Home. Randy comes home and mentions to his parents that he saw Brad working at the store.
Uh-oh.
Meaning that Brad skipped the PSAT, PSA trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They being Tim and Jill, call the store. And they have a kind of a back and forth here. We find out Rob didn't go to college, and he's doing great. He drives a Porsche. But Brad, eventually a customer comes. He has to hang up. Tim and Jill keep conversing on the phone, even though they're in the same room. Funny, not funny? Where do you stand on this?
Okay. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'm about the same. Okay, cool. Good analysis by us.
I mean, I'm trying to compare it to some of the other stuff that they have going on in this episode.
It's alright. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's alright. Alright, next scene. Tim goes to the store. I mean, obviously, he had to go to the store.
Sports Universe.
What took so long? He interacts with Holly. And,
I like this interaction, actually.
It's pretty good, yeah. Tim also sits down in a massage chair, and that doesn't go over real well.
Or maybe it goes over too well.
A little too well. Never mind. No,
I know where that was going.
No. Okay.
Go back. You already did half of what you were going to do.
What, butthole play? What'd you think I was going to say?
I thought you were just going to go boing.
Oh, no. You wish I would have done that. You made me. Right. Look what you made me do.
Yeah.
All right. He finally meets Rob. Tim, he confronts Rob. He sees Rob for who he is, or rather who the episode posits Rob to be.
Yeah, because we learned that Rob is not exactly like that.
Yeah. We find out Rob is a man who worked his way to the top. He used to clean...
Would you say the top or the middle?
Well, hey, if your goal is... Well, it depends on what your goals are, I guess.
That's true.
He used to clean bathrooms at Stan's in Hamtramck. That's actually a pretty good joke, I guess. Yeah. In terms of, like, setting up a joke, it's pretty good.
That's fine.
Rob
that's a Ferber treatment right there.
That is what you get with Bruce. Rob didn't go to college, but he always wishes he would have. He struggled. He wasn't always so successful, so on and so on. Brad shows up, and Brad is very quickly convinced here. I guess they ran out of time because Brad all of a sudden sees the error in his ways. But
Rob, Rob's there, so Rob's giving him the okay, so instantly he changes his mind.
Tim tries to talk to Brad. Rob sort of interjects. Tim sort of shuts him up and then says the same thing. It's kind of funny. They agree, or maybe they don't agree, that he should get one more chance. I don't remember. Do they agree?
Well, Rob just basically says, like, let me know what you decide. I'd be disappointed to, lose my best salesman or something like that. I don't know.
The man that I hope to adopt someday, which is Brad. And the episode kind of ends. I didn't watch anymore, so if there's a final scene, you better take it.
Oh boy,
Did I miss out? Is it something good?
Yeah, I mean, well, first, before that ends, Brad commits to spending time with the hot rod, which is really spending time with Tim.
Oh, you're right. That was sweet, wasn't it? Yeah, I like that.
Very sweet.
Should I go back and watch this final scene? Did I miss out something really good?
Well, I'll describe it, and then you can decide.
See, I was burned last week by seeing Wilson's bare ass in claymation, so I was like, I'm not going to stick around again this week.
Well, you know what? It's a Wilson clip again.
Dang, is he rollerblading?
Back at home, Wilson is working on his new hobby in such a way that he built a ramp in his backyard.
And he rollerblades?
And he's practicing going up and down this ramp, this half pipe ramp, but it's obviously not Wilson. It's
man, I screwed up. Dang.
Somebody very impressive is doing some rollerblading here, and the only problem that Wilson has is he can't stop. So I guess perpetually he's going to be going up and down that half pipe.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, you should be disappointed in yourself.
Crap. All right, I'll go back and watch it. I'll go back and watch it, and I'll talk about it next week.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
very appropriate.
Roll credits, fade to black, PSA Trouble, a.k.a. Workin Man Blues. Jordan, a nickel for your thoughts.
Oh, I don't know. It feels a lot like, him getting his first job and running into troubles with that. When he had the post route, mail route, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know. So I guess that was kind of disappointing. I felt like, why don't we just do this for like Randy or Mark?
Yeah,
or just,
fair.
Give them some shine here and have them go through that plot line. And I think it would have been a bigger effect on Randy. Like if all of a sudden Randy loses his focus on education, like it's a bigger problem. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what I was kind of hoping to see. So that's a little bit of disappointment. There's not a lot of good jokes here, or even bad jokes. I mean, there's some good stuff. Like I said, I like the back and forth with Holly and Tim because Tim just doesn't really go for it. He's just like, you're being a ridiculous teen.
Yeah.
So I like that. But Rob, it's hard to get a read on him because initially I'm like thinking this guy is sketchy.
Weird. This is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's sketchy and really feeding Brad ideas. But then in the final scene, they just kind of make it seem like Rob's kind of cool and just not telling Brad everything necessarily. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the way they frame him in this episode. I don't know. It's fine. It's not terrible. I don't think they execute it necessarily poorly. I just wish they would have done it for another one of the kids. So
okay. Yeah. I guess I liked it more than you. I thought there were some pretty good jokes throughout. I liked the Hamtramck payoff.
Yeah.
I like the new setting. I thought Holly was pretty funny.
You love any new setting.
Jordan, this is a show in which 90% of it is set on Tool Time or in their living room. So yeah, I do like new settings. Sorry, dude. I liked Holly, new character. I thought those interactions were funny.
New character?
Yeah, Holly, she's a new character.
You make it sound like she's going to be on there for like the next 5 episodes.
She's in every episode the rest of the show.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Hey, why don't you let me do what I liked without telling me, without interrupting me? That'd be great. All right. So I liked Holly, a new character in this episode. Jordan, jerk. Rob was interesting. I know that they've done it before, and we didn't get a job montage this time. But I just kind of liked it. I thought even the Wilson rollerblading stuff, even though I didn't see like the payoff at the end, I thought it was just like just kind of stupid but funny.
You would have liked it more if there would have been that final scene that you would have seen. Let me ask you. Yeah. If there is a montage in this, what does it look like for you? I have an idea. I have ideas of what it would look like.
It's well, dang, you could go 2 ways. I guess the one route I was thinking is just Brad making a lot of sales at the store. That's kind of the obvious one. The other one is just like Brad living the adult life. So like coffee business section, he's driving the Porsche. He is like, I don't know, balancing a checkbook or something. I don't know.
I think you intermix those, and like every time Brad makes a sale, it's for something bigger.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so it's like a tennis ball, and then at the end he's selling like a 4-wheeler or something.
Yeah, something like that. So that's where that goes, and then like in between, like you said, he's making the coffee and it tastes terrible, and he's screwing up on checkbooks and driving the Porsche and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
I like, but overall, I like the episode. So
okay. All right. It's not the worst, but Adam, it's time to move on from thoughts to Sean's social media corner. So, If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter at Home and Podcast. Go to YouTube if you haven't already. Subscribe to our channel there. And if you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast or go ahead and leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever it's called, and whatever you listen to for podcasting these days. And if you don't recall, Adam will do a little jingle for you if you write one out. And we're looking to get 50. Can we get 50? I think we can do it. We have the best fans in the world, so let's prove them wrong.
Prove them wrong? Who are we proving wrong?
Well, they'll find out when they leave 50 reviews.
You know what? We like our haters because they fuel us, right?
Do you want negative reviews? Is that what you're saying?
No. Well, whatever. We're getting our wires crossed. I don't want negative reviews.
You want the sarcastic 5 review.
I want a sarcastic 5-star review. Like, if you really hate us, stick it to us by giving us a 5-star review. That's kind of how you put somebody in their place. And
that's what we need at this point, honestly.
And then you comment and you say, just like, good podcast. Just like, really scathing.
Yeah. Home and Podcast, the most reviewed home improvement podcast out there, right?
I mean, bar none, yeah, because it's the best. We're the original. We're not the longest. There's some of them go longer. I don't know. It's probably not smart to talk about other home improvement podcasts on our own, but I've seen other guys go in like an hour and 40 minutes. How is that possible, Jordan?
I don't know. I just... You got to have some other segments that are out there, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, you probably want me to talk about Twitter, though, right?
I wish you would.
All right, so... All right, I'll start with this one, even though I think it's sort of BS. Have you been noticing that there are more commercials with twins? 16 total votes. 13% yes, 87% no. To that I say, open your eyes.
Lies. Everyone sits on the throne of lies.
I can't believe that people are saying that there aren't more commercials with twins. I mean, all you have to do is watch TV. That's all I'm saying. I was really disappointed in that. All right, other poll. 36 votes. Dang.
Wow.
What's your favorite 90s animated movie on this list? I got a lot of, well, again, BS from people complaining about the options. And it's like, yeah, I know that The Lion King is better than what's on this list. I know that Aladdin, it's like, you're vote for the poll you have, not the poll you want. All right?
Are you gonna give people the poll they want this week?
No, I'm only going to give the poll I want ever. That's what this is all about. This is a vanity project for me. So,
all right, well, tell me the results.
I'm just saying, don't complain about the polls. If you don't like them, just keep scrolling. 17% said Mulan. 17% said Hercules. 19% said Pocahontas. 47% said a Goofy movie. That's just more reason that we should cover it.
I would say so, and... Is that just because we had such a ringing endorsement of it, so they're just, it's a groupthink at this point?
It is funny because I've never heard anyone say that. Yeah, but this is a learning podcast as much as it is anything. It's for learning. So. All
right, well, be on the lookout for that. Remember, patreon.com/homeandpodcast. We're going to do a Goofy movie.
And Toy Story 4 if we ever see it.
Well, don't hold your breath.
Yeah, it seems like you're busy. All right, that's about all I got. Ryan Thornburg posted his Richard Karn photo. They both look very handsome. One more thing on Twitter. We are at 696 followers and really itching to get to 700. So if you don't follow us, please do. If you know people that don't follow us, steal their phones, leave us an iTunes review, and then follow us. So.
Man, that's what we used to do to get subscribers. Steal our friends' phones.
Yeah, now we never do that. We've come so far.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the top of the mountain looks like, and I'm enjoying the view.
Jeez. All right, anything else on Twitter?
No.
All right. Do you ever think we'll get enough YouTube subscribers to rival our Twitter followers?
No, I don't. That's kind of your thing. I do.
It's a very half-hearted thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, geez, that's kind of you in a nutshell these days. But yeah, that's not. I don't know. I don't know enough about YouTube. I'm kind of just like
Adam.
Whatever.
You seem like you're built for YouTube. I think you've got the looks.
Yeah,
you've got the voice. You've got the content. So I don't know. I bet you people miss when you used to do the what did you used to do? The Periscope videos, the live reviews or something that you used to do.
Yeah, the problem with that is I kind of forgot about those, so that's the problem. I guess I could do them again. I don't know if people like those or not.
You could put those on our YouTube channel, because you could do a live stream on YouTube.
I don't know. It's just YouTube to me. I'm kind of just waiting for that one to pass me by. I think it isn't going to, so...
No, I think YouTube is here to stay for a while.
I know, it sucks, but whatever.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we should move on to the question of the week, right?
Yeah, Jordan.
Unless we have any mail. We don't have any mail.
I solicited, but it was pretty late, so we didn't get any.
All right.
Jordan, how was... you were down there in Miami... living that Big Willie style life. How was it?
Well, I don't want to spoil this for you, but I was actually in Hollywood, Florida.
Wow.
So I don't know. Is that still the same lifestyle?
I don't know, but I just want to hear about it.
All right. Well, it was a good time. I got to meet. If people don't know, I work remote, so I've never met any of my coworkers in person until this trip. So
the funny thing about that is that your company actually doesn't work remote. They just tell you that so that they don't have to interact with you.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing for them when they met me too. It's
funny when you found out that they have an actual office and you've just never been invited.
The HR was like, "Hey, you have to at least invite them to this." And then when they heard I did a home improvement podcast, they were very confused and concerned. So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, there was a moment where we were telling our story, and I had to bring up the home improvement podcast. So
it is part of your life story now.
Yeah, it is part of my life story.
It or not. Yeah.
A lot of confusion because some of my coworkers live overseas, so they're like, "You do what? About what?"
You mean Tim Allen isn't big in Germany?
No. Big fan in Austria though. Okay. A lot of following there. Cool. So. No, I don't know. So that was. It's always interesting to tell your coworkers and other people what you do, and then have them ask questions, and then their response of "That's cool."
Well, it's always nice to meet a fan. That's what I say.
That is nice. So It was cool. We were all in an Airbnb, nice big Airbnb. Had a nice.
Did you have your own room?
Had my own room. Nice big room.
That's a problem. Sometimes some of that work BS. They try to put you in a room with somebody else, and it's like, I'm never doing that. I'm an adult. I will never stay in a room with a coworker.
I'll tell you what. 3 people had their own rooms, and 4 people did not.
Yeah,
maybe 6 people did not. I don't remember. 4.
Yeah, so if I'm ever in that position, I'm sorry, I'm not going.
The first night you'd intimidate the person who has their own room and make them switch with you?
No, I would just not go on the trip, and I would say, well, here's my resignation.
That was not going to be my plan, but so we did some things. We went to some nice restaurants. We went to the beach one time, and some people were brave enough to get on jet skis while there was a thunderstorm going on. I was not brave enough to do that. So those are crazy people. I did win a game of poker.
Poker face, poker face.
No. There was some SEO trivia going on. My team won that. So that's always
search engine optimization trivia.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
We pit ourselves against ourselves, and my team won.
I've sometimes found in life that the greatest opponent ruined it. Never mind.
I lost you when you started going through that.
Oh, good. So. I can say it again. I've sometimes found that the greatest opponent... I can't say it! Oh, God, forget it. Okay, forget it.
No, go for it.
Third take. I can't do it. I'm too slow. Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've sometimes found, Jordan, that the greatest opponent is ourselves.
Wow. Very, very insightful.
Clean read. Jordan, I'm so glad that Miami was good and that you had a good, wholesome time, it sounds like.
So wholesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're glad to be back home and so on.
Yes, absolutely. So I continue my home improvement, my own home improvement on my own home now. So I'm going to do that later today as well.
Yeah, good. Good luck. If you need any advice, just shoot me a text,
Yeah, why don't you tell me... what's your favorite paint color that we should put in our daughter's room?
Oh, I don't know anything about that, but I'll help you with spackling if you need it.
I'm almost done with that part, okay, but sure. I'd like your.
Well, just go ahead and put up. I don't know if you are still interested in commissioning that home improvement mural for her wall.
I am, yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I know some local artists. You'll have to pay for airfare, but they'll come down and do it real cheap.
Probably worth it. Is it going to be more or less than the electric lawnmower that I just bought?
Well, same price. Jordan, what are we covering next week?
No Place Like Home.
Okay, so a Wizard of Oz parody. That'd be great.
Sure it would.
Wilson's obviously going to be the Scarecrow. No, I don't know.
I thought he was going to be Oz.
That's yeah, you're right, because you can't even see Oz's face. Good pull. Looking forward to that. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. And I guess I should say take care.
Take care, everybody.